No. So just me.
Let's go.
And I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's like mademoiselle, right? Or
Yeah, you can say mademoiselle, mademoiselle or mademoiselle.
mademoiselle,
Mademoiselle. Moiselle.
moiselle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we say mademoiselle, not mademoiselle, mademoiselle.
Okay.
Mademoiselle Ines.
And
Yeah.
how and what about whenever you meet a man? Because I know that means a young French woman, right?
Yeah, so you say, alors it's a good question. We can't say jeune homme, but it's weird. It's more like all people who say this, you know.
Really? Is
If
it
not-
like a sir type of thing?
Non, alors sir, it's monsieur.
Monsieur.
Yeah,
Okay.
you say monsieur. So me, you know, I say monsieur or madame for everyone, even kids. You know, I take care of kids, so I say Mr. Andrew. You know, he's
no
like
matter-
2 years old. You know, I don't know. It's in my brain, so I'm like.
Is it a respect type of thing or it's...
Yeah, normally it's a respect, but me, I say this for everyone. So if you have like 70 years old, if you have 2 years old, I will say Mr., Mrs. So it's just me. I'm weird, I know.
No, and it's a great pleasure to meet you. I actually went through your page a bit, and I just liked. I always like the fact that, or what I was attracted to was the fact that you came from another country.
Yeah.
And you dare and have the courage to live in an environment that could potentially overwhelm you, because I mean I'm not sure, but like, do you feel homesick?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. I can tell you why, but.
Okay. So let's start it off with like, how was what did you start studying, or like how is it really growing up in Paris, France?
So, how I grew up in general. So me, I didn't grow up in Paris.
Okay.
So I used to live 2 years in Paris. Vincennes, it's a city near Paris.
Okay.
For my master degree, but if not, I was in Orléans. You know New Orleans,
New Orleans. Okay.
Louisiana. So it's Orleans, but in France. So you know,
Really?
because New Orleans was French speaker, etc.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I used to live in Orléans. So what do you want to know exactly about my childhood?
Well, kind of how, like, because you said that a lot of the things that we see here growing up culturally, like it's the media like you know pushes us here in the US. Like I'm interested to know like how kind of culturally like you grow up, what type of values.
Like if I was attracted by the US, for example.
Yes.
Okay. But you know, at school, etc., in a movie, we see a lot of things about the US, globalization. You know, we talk about this. But for me, I was not attractive at all by the US, by the United States in general. Not really. I was like, yeah, I'm good in France. So no, it's after I can tell you why I decided to move to the US. It's another question.
Okay.
But, so no, I had I don't want to say normal life because it's very it's not very precise. But no, you know, I was a kid who. I went. Sorry for my English. I went at school. Nothing special, you know.
Is it normally like, do you go to school and then like you go get a specific job?
Okay. So you know, you have primary school. You have after I think it's middle school, and you have high school, and after you have college, university. Voilà. So me, I did primary school, etc. In high school, I don't know how it is in the US, but before to go to college, university, you have to pass an exam in high school.
Okay.
I don't know if in the US you have a big exam like this.
I don't know. Maybe it might be the SAT. Is it?
Maybe I don't know. It's a baccalaureate in France.
Okay.
Baccalaureate. So it's you know, you have a lot of different subjects, and after you can apply to go to an university.
But you have to pass that test in order to be able to apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can find a job even if you don't. I think you have to have your baccalaureate.
Okay.
I'm not sure about this, but yeah. So after I went to university, and I don't know if you want. I talk about real estate. Why? Because it's since I am in middle school, I want to work in real estate.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, I don't know in the US, but in France you have the opportunity. In middle school, in high school, it depends of the school, but to do an internship But it's not like 1 year, it's just 1 week. It's like a discovery of a job.
Oh, they allow the students to like
Yeah,
go
you know,
internship
in
wherever.
middle school you are kind of a baby. You have like 13 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And me, so I wanted to go with other to do other jobs like I don't know how to say in English. People who take care of animals. To like a doctor for animals, vétérinaire. Voilà, vétérinaire. But he didn't take like babies like me. And after, my mom told me, Ines, why you don't ask to the director of the agency, real estate agency, because we bought a house thanks to one agency. And she told me, yeah, Ines, every time you ask a lot of questions, so why you don't ask? And I said, oh yeah, sure. And the woman, she was very nice, so I did 1 week in a real estate agency, and I love it. I love the diversity of the task, you know, you have to do. You are not like always behind a desk. You meet people, you have to socialize, you're prospecting. It's very diversified and it's a challenge job. So I was like, oh, I like. But I was not sure because, you know, in middle school, I was a baby. So after in high school, so I had the opportunity to do another internship, same, 1 week. So I decided to do in another real estate agency, but not the same.
Not the same one,
yeah,
okay.
Like a bigger one, like a franchise.
Like a franchise.
Franchise, voilà,
okay.
Franchise. Because the first one was like more local, you know, it's only in a certain area.
Okay, and so it was like a much bigger organization.
Yeah, exactly. So I can compare how it works, you know, different technologies. And I like it a lot too. So I was like, I think it will be my job actually.
Okay.
You know, so after I went to university. But I didn't want it to, because after even if after high school I can work, you know, in real estate or whatever.
Okay.
And I don't have to study for this, you know, it's more about experience too.
Okay.
But, you know, I didn't want it to maybe do studies or school real estate immediately or to work. I wanted to study the law, like general law. Because if one day I want to change my job, you know, even if I have 40 years old, I don't want to study again. You know what I mean?
Okay. And so you took that class so that you can kind of have your options open.
Yeah, exactly. More options, you know, because law is very general. You can do a lot of things. After, for example, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to go to another school, but you don't have to do all again, you know.
Okay.
So that's why. But after I had the opportunity, same to do an internship in somewhere, I did in a real estate agency again, of course.
Okay.
It was 1 month this time. And after, I decided to specialize. So after my bachelor in law, so I specialized by a master in real estate, but real estate law. So it was very, very diversified, very vast. It's not like very precise because it's law. Like real estate.
What does that law kind of cover? Is it like litigation of like commercial properties? Is it more like residential? What type of?
It's everything. So you have, you know, it's funny because you can have like a real estate contract, like notary, but you have also water law. I know
water law.
Yeah, you know, water, when you drink water, and law about water. And me, it's real estate, okay? So it was very weird.
Okay.
But why not? So it's very general, you know. And I did real estate, so master real estate law, private and public law. So it's very big. Very vast.
Why'd you decide that?
So because, you know, I just want, you know, in real estate to be a real estate agent.
That's all you wanted to be.
Yeah, so I don't have to do like 1 million for studies, etc. But you know, it's still interesting. And with my diploma, because in France, same, it's different with in the US. In the US, it's different mindset. But in France, you have your diploma. It's like a key to be able to find a job. If you don't have a diploma, even if you have experience, you will have more difficulties to find a job, unfortunately.
Okay.
So it's, you know, even if maybe I wanted to work earlier to make money, because I studied, so I didn't work, but I really wanted to study and to have this key to be able to find a job one day. But during my master, I had the opportunity to to do this master and to be in apprenticeship, you know.
For
So-
another real estate agency?
Yeah.
But how is that different than the ones that you did?
So it's different because it was during 2 years. So master, it's in France, it's 2 years after a bachelor.
Okay.
So total 5 years after high school. And so, alors, me, it's not complicated, but I was in a real estate school in Paris, enfin Courbevoie, and I was in a university in the same time, but the university was south of France, Marseille. I don't know if you know, for example, Université de Marseille. So we have the teachers who came to Paris, not every day, but to teach us. So now we are like, okay, but teachers come to us, so it's great. I don't have, to move to the south or what, so it was great.
How far is that?
I cannot tell exactly.
No.
I don't have but it's you have to take the train, and it's not just 1 hour. It's longer than that.
Oh.
So
wow.
we had the opportunity, and we can do a apprenticeship in parallel. It means you are in real estate school. You have, if I remember, so it's 2 days per week. So in a week, 5 days, because Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So 3 days you are in your for me it was real estate agency, and 2 days at school. So it was like this. It's not the morning you have to work and after you have to study. But the system was great for me.
That apprenticeship counts as like studies towards the 2 other days, or how is that?
Alors, it was more like an experience because, when I was in a real estate agency, I work, as a real estate agent, real estate assistant. So it was more an experience than studies. And after the 2 other days, I was like study, and I had to do homeworks, but yeah, it was great. And 2 years I am in immersion in the job I want to do, so it's great.
And you learn a lot from the experience.
Yes, more because you learn something in some things when you study, but after, if you don't practice, you forgot, and it's law. So laws, you have to, they change all the time. So
how come?
Well, not change all the time, but you have to be how do you say, update. You have to because laws, they don't change, but new laws, etc.
Yeah.
So
you have to be constantly reading up on it, so like so it never really ends.
Yeah. So you have to miss what I did, for example, in I think it's Google Alert. I don't know if you know this.
What is that?
Okay, so you have Google.
Uh-huh.
Google Alert, it's you put an alert in your account. You put, for example, me, it was a notification. For example, real estate market. I can put real estate, and I used to live in Vincennes. Real estate Vincennes, or I can put just real estate in general, or something precise, And after, I receive notification by email about, for example, if in the news you have like something who talk about real estate, and in Vincennes, for example, you will have this email, so this information. If I say, for example, I don't know, real estate development in Paris, like in my criteria, research, so I will receive sometimes emails who talk about real estate development, for example, in Paris,
Okay, those are like classes, or those are like
it's
projects?
It's just news. So
really? Okay.
yeah, in the news, for example, in newspaper in general, or article, blog, or people who write about this on internet. So I receive notification. So sometimes you have too much notification, so I didn't read. But no, it's interesting.
But you specify it like by regions, I would imagine, or like by certain places, is what I'm understanding.
It could be anything. For example, if you want to buy a house, me, it's because I'm in real estate. If you want to buy a house in south of France, in Nice or whatever, you put like Nice real estate, and you will have everything. But for example, if you are interested, so what do you like in life? For example, your hobbies or...
I mean, I'm very active, so I would want a big yard. I would want a patio or a pool. I don't.
Yeah, for example, you want a pool, okay? You can. I don't know, but just it's more news. So if you are interested in pools or what, you can put in a criteria research like pool. I don't know what type of pool. I don't know nothing about pool. And after you will have maybe if there is an article in the news who talk about pool in general, could be in anything, you will receive a notification.
Oh, okay. And you did that to learn more than anything?
But it was because me, I was not like every time I read the newspaper. I used to do this when I was in law school, because it's interesting. Well, now I don't really read news, especially in France, because it's a lot of negative things. But for the economy, etc., I try to be updated.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's one of the tips I used, and it was great.
And how did you how did it end up being that you wanted to move from that real estate market in France to want to move to the US?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, why is the US? Okay. So I finished my master degree in real estate.
What year?
It was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
June, July.
Recently, okay.
Yes, recently. And after I finished my study. After I can work, and my dream, it's not a dream, because dream for me, it's you don't have to realize them. It's more a project. I wanted to invest in real estate.
Okay.
So buy real estate, buy, But so I'm thinking, because I wanted to learn something else, and I heard a lot of things about people who travel, etc. And I say, no, even if I sacrifice myself, for example, I don't travel, I want to save money, invest to be free later. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And one day I remember I had one of my teachers in law school. I talked to her, and she told me, Ines, no, you are young, so no, don't do this. But it's a bad thing to do this, to be too much like this and not enjoy life in general. So I say, okay, maybe because so in the US, I'm not fan of the US, but I'm French.
No.
I like the US, but more for the entrepreneurship aspect, real estate, because we are in a country capitalist, so business. So when I heard about business, it's for me the US. All this. I'm into self-development too. I can tell you when I started to be interested about this long time ago, but a lot of
self-development in what sense? Is it economic? Is it psychological?
Is for psychological.
Okay.
Psychological. So for example, when I was in high school, so I every morning. I was no wait. Every morning.
I don't know what you're gonna say. But
no.
Every morning.
Every morning. So I took my phone and I watched some YouTube videos.
Okay.
About self-development or entrepreneurship, like people who create companies, or self-development. Just for example, could be anything. Like to be the best version of yourself, or like about confidence, about business, about I don't know. You can succeed in life. A lot of. And it was a lot of things who, in the US, you heard a lot of things about this, like, you can do it, just do it. In France, we are like, we don't really, it's not very the culture,
How come?
What?
Sorry? Like why is it that, why is it that people don't really like seek entrepreneurship in France? Do they seek more of like just a stable job?
Yeah, exactly. So in France, we are a little scared. I don't want to say scared because we have more entrepreneurs now in France, but it's not in the culture, because people, for example, for the risk, in the US in general, people take more risk, and in France we are scared about this. We are like, okay, imagine for example you have a comfortable job, okay, and you tell to your parents, parents or friends or whatever, okay, I'm going to quit this job, to create my own company, my own business. People will be like, are you sure? Oh, they're like, prudence. No, I don't advise you to do this. People, if it's the family, they can encourage you to do this, but it's not in the, you have a job, and after you are happy or not happy, but usually you have just one job in France. And in the US, how many people I met, they have like 2, 3, 5 jobs, and me I'm like, what? Yeah, 5 jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and me I'm like, how it's possible? And even if it's not a job, you have to be physically. You have your own business. You do, I don't know, a lot of differences on internet. But in France, it's not in the culture at all. So we are scared. But I don't want to say scared because it's not a bad word, but we are more prudent.
Okay, I mean that's an excellent word, and honestly, do do does like France, like, do a lot of people manage credit? Do a lot of people like take out loans, like, because that's also risky.
So I noticed in the US, we are in a country like capitalist, so a lot of, you see advising, like commercial things like everywhere, like, yeah, buy this a product. People are like, yeah, credit card, I spend.
Yes.
In France, we are more prudent. It's not in the culture. But of course, there is people who wants to have to take some credit to buy a car, etc. But even me, for example, I don't want to take a credit to buy a car.
That's very interesting, because here you're really quick to say yes, even though they're gonna give you 14,
if I have
15.
to have a car, I can rent a car, but I don't want to. I can buy if I have the money, I buy. But for me, it's not an investment, because a car, it's not like a real estate who grew up the value. Sorry, I don't know how to say.
The equity doesn't grow through.
So for me personally, I never buy real estate. I don't have enough money for now.
Yeah.
But me, I allowed myself just to take a credit. Except if I have a big accident one day, I live in the US, I don't have insurance, whatever. But I allowed me to take a credit just in real estate, because when you take a credit for real estate, it's not your money, but you can have more money thanks to money of others. What I mean? So yeah, but yes, in France, business, etc., it's not really in the culture, and people are very prudent. Even if you have a lot of entrepreneurs. But so that's why I wanted to move to the US. It's for the entrepreneur aspect. Real estate also, it's different. It's different. The mindset is different. For example, so in France, to buy a real estate, when you see a real estate agent, sometimes people are scared, or they are sharks. And in France, people don't want to pay commission. They are like, no, I can do by myself. I don't want to pay commission. Not all, but usually, in the US, it's different mindset. It's like, I don't have time, because people in the US, maybe they value more the time as money,
Yes, like, they always say time is money.
Yeah, exactly. So they delegate. They know how to delegate. In France, we are like, I don't trust this person. I don't know. I don't want to pay commissions. They want to find the cheapest, etc. So it's different, and real estate is different.
So would they do it through a real estate firm directly without the realtor, the real estate agent, or how are you able to buy property then without paying commission?
If you can sell by yourself, a lot of people do it without problem, but you can have problem because if you don't know the law, or if you have a problem, because as a real estate agent, people know the law, and if something bad happen, you can still pursue the on injustice, I don't know, the realtor, the real estate agent, but if you are by yourself, and it takes time, because to market your property, it's a job. If you can delegate this, you win a lot of time. If you are retired, you have nothing to do, you want to buy by yourself, do it. But if you have like 3 kids, you have I don't know, you live alone, so you don't have time. So people usually, they market, they take picture, or sometimes picture is like in the dark, like no, not all, but me, I'm very picky about picture in real estate, because people, if they are not satisfied by the pictures, they just
no, and pictures are a great way to catch the attention of the person who's going to go buy it.
My first internship when I was in middle school is the first thing I said to the director of agency. I say, for me, pictures are very important.
Okay.
So we talk about this. It was funny, but it's different. So people usually they sell by a website. The name is Le Bon Coin, for example. Alors, I know you don't know. It's, for example, it's a website. You can sell houses, cars, clothes, anything.
Really?
I
And to sell a property,
Yeah.
you could just sell it out to another person without
No,
no lawyers?
alors, we don't have lawyer, it's a notary.
Oh, through a notary. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to go on a notary, sign, etc. Well, I don't want to talk too much about this because I was not a real estate agent. I was just like observation, like, you know, I didn't really work in real estate, even if I want. And I don't know if the law change or whatever. But so in the US, it's different because people think differently. They are more like, you know, it's funny because you know, you can have your own lawyer, or in France we can have like family notary, like your own notary, like someone you trust, you know. And in the US, I notice people sometimes as own real estate agent. For example, they trust someone, you know, so it's funny. And so people in the US usually they trust more, they delegate, and also in the technology is different.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think it's just my feelings. In the US, it's more about collaboration with real estate agents, than competition. And in France, well, depends. But usually it's more, you have a lot of competition, and after, you know, you can help each other if it's a franchise. But if not, people are, you know, in the US you have some people, of course it's competition, you know, of course, but it's more collaboration. And you have the MLS, I don't know if you know, multiple listing service.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
which they use here in the US
it's a database, and a real estate agent can see all the properties for sale or rent. So for example, this tool, this database, it will be very useful in France. But for example, if you have a franchise, you can have like a database, but just for real estate agencies with you know, the same name, like franchise, you know.
Oh, because they don't really have one database for everyone.
No.
They like try to keep it like
I
internal.
don't know, but you know, it's fantastic to have this in the US. It's and I'm thinking, like, even if I come back to France to work in real estate, I'm like, you know, it's more collaboration. It's more like win to win. It's typical American, like win to win, you know. So win-win. And in France, it's, you know, you prefer to wait than to collaborate maybe with someone and have less money. But me, you know, for me, even if, for example, I know someone, it's not the same franchise or whatever, and the person is another state, and I want to collaborate with this person, I'm like, okay, I have a client maybe for you, so we can, you know, it's all about solidarity. I don't know, maybe I'm too like, oh yeah, everything is beautiful, but for me, it is a business, you know. It's not like, oh, you are a real estate agent, oh la. No, it's okay, we can collaborate, you know.
No, yeah, and absolutely. I think it's a good thing then we're good collaborators, because I mean, if I can help you and you help me, then we'll both grow together, you know.
Exactly.
And so therefore that's why I think that's why we do it. But going back to kind of whenever your teacher told you like, hey Ines, travel. How did that kind of, what thought did you have? Where did you want to go? Is it the U.S. the first one that you thought, because you wanted to become like you wanted to start like surrounding yourself with real estate people, or did you kind of think, okay, like I'm gonna travel to other places?
So me, in my life, I think all the time about my career. You know, travel. Okay. I can travel, but I don't want, even if I want to travel like during 1 year, visit everything. But you know, me, I'm like, okay, Ines, you have to start a career, because my goal is why I want to work in real estate, because I like this job, diversity, challenges. You meet a lot of people. I'm a very social person. I love people. So, and you know, real estate, everyone needs real estate. So, you know, for example, I talk about residential because I'm more into residential real estate. So, you know, a lot of people, we don't die like, we are more old now. And there is, for example, since the COVID, a lot of like, unfortunately, like divorce and for example, or newborn people who, voilà, etc. So, you know, every time you have to, maybe in your life you will stay maybe all your life with the same house, but maybe you will travel, so you have to sell, etc. So I think it's not a job who will disappear, even if there is like new technologies. We can talk about this too, but
Yeah.
it's not.
No, no, absolutely. I think real estate is always going to
Yeah,
be
it's
seated
and you can
here.
invest in real estate and make money. And me, my goal also, it's in the first time it was because I like the job, and also I like to help people in my life. I want to help people, but also with real estate, even if it's hard, not everybody succeed in this business. You have to be persistent.
Yeah.
But you can be free. It means you can have your own schedule, your own hours. For me, it's like, I don't know if it's a word, meritocratic. I don't know if it exists. You make efforts, you have results. Depends of how you are invested in the job. So yeah, and me, my goal, my final goal is to be free, like free financially, free to not be worried about tomorrow, or if I can travel, I can say, okay, I take vacation now. So yes, I want also to make money because real estate, but to be free and after do great things in my life.
What makes you so career focused? Like, does your
like
your mom tell you something? Does you
No.
It's just you.
But maybe it's a little the family, but I have parents who are teachers. In my family, nobody has. In a close family, I don't know someone who has a business.
Okay.
I don't know someone who is in real estate. My brother, who is younger than me, it's not real estate, but kind of he wants to be an architect. So so we are like the stranger in a family because all my family is like fonctionnaire. I don't know how to say, like they have like salary. They are teacher, for example. So my mother Spanish teacher, my father in geography. So me, I was like, okay, nobody teach me how to do, but my parents, especially my father, he told me every time, so you have to feed yourself, you have to be like independent, and after, I think it's big thanks to internet actually.
Okay.
Because I watch a lot of videos about people who succeed, and sometimes they are very like in difficult situation, and me, I'm so impressed by these people. They are like, they don't have money, they live very there are people like in a great condition who succeed too, but me, I'm so impressed by these people who was very like, it's very hard life, and they work or they make a business and now they succeed, they are CEO big companies. So me, I'm like, okay, if they did it, I can do it. And me, I want to be free in my life. I don't want to have I don't want to say simple life, but like a life, okay, I'm happy, etc. But I have to pay my taxes, and sometimes I'm like, oh no, I cannot go to vacation. No, I want to be free. So that's why also. So yeah, but I think no, my family didn't really teach me this, or if not, maybe a little, because it's in the family. I think it's more like what I watch, what I read, just like motivation. Me, I'm very like, I'm motivation.
What do you read?
I'm more watching than reading, but I read some self-development books. For example, also finance, like Robert Kiyosaki, if you know him.
Yeah. Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah. It was one of my first book.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Robert Kiyosaki is really good on saying like financial liberty and how to obtain it. How was the transition from French culture to American culture whenever you got here?
Okay, so the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, when I arrived to the US, so I was in California before, so I am an au pair. So
what does that mean?
So yes, so I didn't tell you because you know me, I speak here.
No,
because English is not my first language, so sometimes I'm lost. But so
you're doing great.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to move to the US for these reasons, but it's hard with visa and stuff. So I was like, okay, I finished my studies. It's the moment in my life to go to the US. Because imagine, okay, even if my parents told me, Ines, it's the best moment, you have a master, why you go somewhere?
So they were opposed to it.
Yes, they were opposed to it.
Okay.
So me, I was like, I did all the research by myself. Nobody helped me. So I was very, I had this motivation, this goal in mind, you know. So I wanted to find an internship in real estate because I wanted to work, but you know, with visa, I didn't know how it was. It's very complicated, you know, as a stranger.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted to find an internship in real estate. But even if I did some interviews, for some jobs I was not paid or almost nothing, and you know, I don't have money. Or if not, my English wasn't enough. Ines, yes, I like you, but unfortunately your English, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, no problem. So I have a challenge. I have to improve my English. So, but I want to move to the US, but I was like in research, so I had like few months before to improve my English. And you know, at school I was not very bad, but I was bad in English, very. My Spanish was better than my English before, and now it's the inverse.
Really?
Yeah, I always, well, sorry for my my English teachers, but I always hated English. I don't know why. Yeah, and after when I was in university, I had the choice to do just one language. So I chose Spanish. The last year, I decided to take English because it's important. And after I decided to like English, you know what? Why? Because, so I had a great teacher. We did like more like mock trials, you know, like, because I was in law, we like games in English. And also I noticed for my career, what I want to work in real estate, so business, maybe international, and I want to travel. I need to speak English. If not, I cannot communicate. You know, it's not in French. Even if a lot of French speakers in the world. So what I did every night, I open my computer.
Okay.
And I watch Netflix, like TV shows, movies in English with French subtitles, after with English subtitles, and after now without subtitles. And also, almost every Friday night, so I met a group of like international people in Paris, and we met like in a bars or restaurant or something just to practice English. And I was really, really motivated, and I met a lot of people through this.
Okay.
And
Were
so
they entrepreneurs themselves?
So the people was just, you know, expats, like people who, for example, other country like from Africa, from the US, who came to Paris, and after there is like a group, someone who created a group about just to practice English, you know. So I was really motivated. So after I improved my English, so during few months I was like, I'm bilingual. I'm not at all. But
no, but that's pretty cool that you like every night you would watch.
I had this goal, you know. I know, okay, Ines, if you want to do this, you have to do this. I'm like, okay. And after, I decided to come to the US anyway because, you know, I didn't want it to, as I said, to start a job and after to say to my employer, okay, I'm sorry, I want to go to the US now, you know. It's not good, and if I start something, I don't want to abandon. You know what I mean? And maybe I will have a comfortable job, and after I will not have this motivation to move to another country. You know.
So you put yourself like in a situation like I have to do this because if I stay back, then it's like I might lose.
And my parents
chance.
was no, Ines, you know, it's not reasonable. You know, like French mindset, like, but it's normal. You know, it's. Your parents, they want the best for you, and you know it's a little risky to go to a country I never been. I know nobody. I don't really speak. Well, I speak a little English, but it was not perfect. So I decided to be an au pair.
Okay.
So an au pair because I had a diploma with kids too.
Okay.
And au pair, it means you take care of children and you live with this family.
Okay.
So it's a great thing to learn English, improve your English. And to discover the American culture because I want to learn to discover. For me to be in immersion, it's very important.
Okay.
Especially if in the future I want to work in the US. So I moved to. I found through a company. I found a family. I was in California in Malibu, and after I moved to North Carolina in another family. And I have still this goal in mind. It's to work in real estate. So I have some goals. So every week, I was like, okay, I have to contact one real estate professional.
Okay, well, like, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, so it's better when you write something in a paper or in your phone because if it's in your mind, you can forget or not do it. And, you know, time, it's an habit, you know.
Yes.
So every week or sometimes every 2 weeks, I contact real estate professional in my area. For example, first when I was in California, and so me, as an au pair, I cannot work on a side. I have to do this job, so with my visa. But what I can do, because I want to learn real estate, so I have to do something free, and I want to do a lot of things. So I'm like, okay, so what I can do, meet real estate people, just to ask them question, tips, just do like you do with me an interview, and also grew up my network. Because, I came to the US, I knew nobody.
Yeah.
I was alone, and now I have a big network. So I'm like, I impress myself because I'm a person so you told me before, how was my shell hole? I was shy.
Okay. And you were shy.
Yeah, you're surprised, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, I have my friend, when I told them this, Ines, no, I don't believe you.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a whole new person.
Yeah. So, no, not a new person. I can say I grew up, but I don't want to say shy, it's not good, because it's okay to be shy, and hopefully I was shy in my life, because now I know certain things, For example, I have something, it's not funny, but when I was in primary school, so I was shy, so I was with just few friends, and after I was so scared to speak with people, and there is one of my teacher who told to my parents, like a meeting with me and my parents, okay, Ines is very shy. Okay, I'm very shy. So if you just up your hand like this, I can put you like not a notation, but like like a green point, when you're a baby. And I was like, after I was like, ding, ding, but I didn't really participate. But after, I think it's in your life, step by step, you have other experiences, and you are not, I don't want to say you are not shy, but more confident. For example, there is a situation, I can think about, okay, I was in a bus to go to middle school, for example, and the bus missed my station.
Okay.
And I was, oh my gosh, I will be late. And if you are shy and you arrive late at school, you are like, oh, everybody will look at me. So I was like, no, I don't have to have a solution. So it's to speak with the driver. I was like, I'm sorry, you missed my station. So, just the fact to speak with the driver for me was I was proud of myself, because I was so shy. But if I say nothing, where I'm going?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, it's just like little things like this in my life who happens. Maybe it's nothing, but, I keep in mind, and I socialize more. I'm more confident. So, yes, after, for example, in 2022, I had the idea to move to the US. Not my motto, but it was like, okay, I want to go out my comfort zone. It was one reason of the motivation. Go out my comfort zone,
Okay.
To grow up in my life. And when I was, for example, maybe, I don't know, maybe when I was in high school, or at university, I was not really shy. I was a little, but not really, because I met a lot of people.
Yes.
But I told to my father one day, because when he was he finished high school, my grandfather paid him a trip to go to New York alone, and I told my father
to who? To your dad?
So yeah, my dad, when he was at high school, my grandpa, if I remember, he paid him a trip to go to New York alone. And I told to my father, I say, okay, even if it's a trip, never this things like this, because I was too shy. I don't want to go, And so after I was maybe when I was in high school, never I will think, okay, Ines, one day I will go alone in a country I don't know. Never I will think about this, So when you think something, your thinking can change. It's all question about mindset, about programmation in your brain. So I just grew up, And for example, when I moved to California, I know a little the family because I live with them, but I had no friends. I was alone, And,
you were just there with the kids.
And I used to live in Malibu. There is nobody, so I'm like, in not in LA downtown. You can meet people. I was like in the mountain and on the ocean, like nobody. So after I succeed to make friends through social media, through different
You
apps.
would just message them?
Yeah, but for example, there is some app like Bumble, if you know, Bumble BFF. So I say, you talk with people, etc. And after I met them, and I started to create a group, like events first, like for example, let's go, I don't know, let's go in this restaurant, let's go for a hike. And after, with people I met in general, I met through friends, I met through apps.
Yeah.
I created a group, in a WhatsApp group, but I did a mistake because after at the end we were like more than 100 people in this group.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, I was like, wow. But the problem is, in the group, when you have a big group, there is some people who are shy, and you hang out always with the same people because you create more link with some people.
Yes.
So sometimes I was like, okay, so I did a mistake, we are too much in this group. But I know nobody, and now I know like 100 people or more.
Yeah.
But after, you cannot be friends with everyone, because to be friends, it's not like this. You have to know the person, etc.
Yeah.
But so I did my network. I was like, oh my gosh, So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So same when I'm here, I try to grow up my network. And in real estate too, because every week I try to contact one real estate person.
Okay.
And at least maybe 2 times per month to have a meeting with them.
But whenever you're going to set up these meetings, do you have specific questions you want to ask them? Do you research who they are, like
Yes.
what they do? Like how does that conversation go? Because I mean, I can, like, it takes courage, obviously, to just ask them.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah, and then, but what type of motive do you give them to talk to you?
It's a great question. I notice in the US people are more open.
Okay.
So they are more like, yeah, I can help you. But especially real estate people, they are very, very busy. So sometimes you message them, they are like, yeah, I can help, etc. But sometimes you will never meet them, or you have to insist. But I don't want to too much insist. I'm proud of myself because I try to learn how to follow up. So this is my goal for this year, to follow up. But I don't want to harass them because it's not my. But so depends. If I met them through someone, it will be different. For example, because I live with a host family, so they try to help me too. They are adorable. And for example, oh yes, I have a friend. You work in real estate. Okay, so I can put you in contact with them. So I'm like, okay. I send, if I have the phone number, I write a message, for example, and after I say, yeah. I'm the au pair of this family, for example. It's like, oh yeah, I know them, so maybe they will be able
to feel comfortable with you.
Yes, exactly. Okay. But sometimes there is people like, I just search on internet, for example. Okay, I have an example. For example, I try every time when I travel, because I like to travel when I have money to discover the US in general. Okay. So when I visit another state, for example, another city, I like to make a business trip in the same time. So it means I try before, for example, if it's a big city like New York, Miami, LA, or like a big city, I can have a network. It's interesting to have like realtors in contact. Okay. So for example, in advance, I can contact them through LinkedIn, through Instagram also. And for example, Miami, I love Miami, and I try to do my research for French real estate people, because I wanted to know, okay, you are French, but how you did it to move to the US? For example, this is my question. And after good. To ask questions, and after, for example, say I have a contact through, I can talk to you later through my mentor in real estate I have in France. So she was in Chicago, I met her in Miami. So, because sometimes you speak with people, you send a message, yeah, my name is Ines, I have some questions, I would love to start a career in real estate, and I would love to meet you for a coffee sometimes to know more about your background, if you have tips, or just, to ask questions. Usually I ask questions about the background of the person, why they choose real estate, like the difficulties they have, because you learn from mistakes, so okay. It's important. And even if it's just the fact to meet them, because you are, if you write with someone, you don't really know the person,
Yes.
But if you meet the person, for example, I meet you in real, so we create a link, and after in the future, I don't know if we do business or what. You are, yeah, I know Ines, she's really nice. I'm very nice.
Yeah.
But so it's you create a link with people, and it's still fun. And for me, it's great too because my goal is to improve my English. So I did it. My English is not perfect, I know, but you understand what I say, I understand.
Yes.
Even if I do some mistakes, I can still improve my English. It's okay. I'm more fluent now. So even if I meet people, even if it's not real estate,
okay,
it's a challenge for me because I practice my English. So even if I just meet someone like this, okay, I practice. So for me, it's great for first to meet a new person. Second, to maybe, for example, someone who have a different accent in English, different area or what. So it's, for me, it's good for my brain, So
yeah, no,
yeah.
and you definitely, and I bet your English got a lot better whenever you formed that group in California with 100 people.
Yeah, because I was in Malibu in a family and I spoke French all the time. So
they were French?
all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I spoke French all the time, and after I said, okay, I have to make friends, even if I met some French friend, but I try to avoid the French speaker, even if it's great to have like a link with them, because it's better. But so I met a lot of different, for example, au pairs from I don't know, from Colombia, from Japan, everywhere in the world. So it's very great to expand in the world my network in the same time.
Yes.
And also American people, like people who was born here,
Yeah.
to have the accent, the expressions, slangs. Sometimes I'm like, what did you say? I don't understand, but I learn. So now I know how to, when someone says something, I know,
Yeah. Who is most memorable person you have spoken to recently by doing these messages? Because you're reaching out to, just like, you'll Google something and then you'll find someone you like. Out of all these people, which one have been like the most
impact recently, you mean?
Yeah, like that has made the most impact on you.
Alors, depends what you mean by impact, but the most recently was when I was in my life I went 2 times in Miami for the New Year, and another time I made a trip with my friends to go to Washington DC, and after I said, okay, I can go to Miami because I like it, etc. But I have to make my business, like prospecting.
What did you before we get into your business? What did you like about Miami?
It's a good question. I don't know, because I used to live, Malibu, LA, and when I was in LA, so you told me the shock culture with France. I didn't really answer to your question, but first I noticed public transportation. There is no public transportation. There is, but in France you can take the subway, the train. I learned how to drive in France. I never drove because I moved to Paris. I just walk a lot, took the train, subway. So when I moved to California, I was, oh my gosh, yes, I have to pass my driving license. I have to have a car. And when you don't have a car, you have to pay a Uber. It's so expensive.
Yes.
One day I paid to go to LX, from LX to Malibu. I paid more than $135. Yeah, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's my salary per week, almost. So I'm like, yeah.
You're like, I gotta learn how to drive.
No, but I had a car, but sometimes I don't use. But yeah, so this is shocked for me, like, and sometimes you drive because distance are more far, and also what shocked me, it's not a shock, you have to drive, it's okay. It's the difference. For me, there is not middle class. I was in Malibu, so I was with Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, and in the PCH, not really, in the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, so to go to Malibu, to everywhere, for example, I saw people, but for me, it was like zombies, because, you have drugs, etc. People, I remember, for example, a woman, she was almost naked, no shoes, she was black, not because of the color of the skin, black of the dirt. She was, so in a, I don't know if you know PCH, but it's very dangerous road.
Okay.
And she was, so there is cars, etc. She was no shoes, and she was taking something in the trash and with no bra, like almost naked. And I was like, oh my gosh. And after I saw people, people like zombies because of the drugs, they're like with a lot of dirt. And I saw for the first time in my life the misery, because we have misery in France, everywhere in the world, but this is you were like rich people, poor people. For me it was this, but especially in a city like LA, because it's very prices of houses are crazy,
Yes,
yeah,
you
yeah,
could
it's
with one home over there, you could buy 3 over here.
Yeah, it's wow. So same when I moved here, I see the difference. So yes, the difference for homeless people, I was like, oh,
but why was that a cultural shock? Like, obviously there's misery everywhere, but does it get that bad in France or no?
So in France we have misery, we have homelessness in the street, but I think the difference is maybe the drug one. You have drug people, even if it's not legal sometimes. But I saw it was the difference between rich, like villa, more than 1 million, fancy cars, and you have people like I don't want to say not human, but it was scary. And one day, for the first time of my life, someone aggressed me. It was an old woman. She was kind of a zombie. She was talking to me, and I was on a FaceTime with one of my friends in France, so I spoke in French. And I don't remember, I was in Santa Monica. It was like 9:30 a.m. It's okay. We are not like 2 a.m. in the morning. And she aggressed me verbally, like, "Hey, you want to go to jail? And I was like, no English. And I was
but you were scared.
I was scared. She stole my phone because I think I'm stronger than her, because she was old, I think, or maybe because she was very poor or what. She has a lot of reed, like, and her coat, I don't know, it was like for me it was a witch. No, but I don't want to talk bad about people, because me, one day in my life, when I will have a lot of money, I want to do something for homeless people. It's since I am in high school, I want to do this. But so I was like, okay, this woman, if she attack me, I will defend myself, but I don't want to have any trouble. It's not my country, so peaceful.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I walked like calm, etc. in the street with my phone, FaceTime, and my friend told me, Ines, there is someone who runs behind you. And I was like, what? It's funny. And after I turn and I see her face in my face.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Wow. So I was scared, but it was funny when I think now. And I was like, okay, if she touched me, I'm going to defend myself. But after, there is an old man who was not a zombie. I say zombie because I think she was paranoid or what,
Yes.
She was not normal, and I was not a criminal, so why she tell me you have to go to jail? No, I'm sorry, I'm not a citizen. So,
yeah, I mean, and drugs make a huge impact on the lives of people, and like I can only imagine like you seeing the difference of like Lamborghinis and a cardboard box over here.
And it was in the same area, so I was, Malibu, it's a really rich area, and you have like, for me it's zombies, because drugs, because they are, unfortunately, they're poor. And I noticed in the US, that's why I want to move, because everything is possible, or more. Nothing is impossible. I think more like it. Nothing is
like
because it's different. Because everything is possible. No, we cannot do this and disappear. Not now.
Yes.
So for me, nothing is impossible, because people can make a lot of money, but also you can lose tomorrow. So you have to be very prudent. But me, I moved to the US because I said it's a good moment. So I'm not old for now. I'm young, I think. And I have nothing to lose except money. Well, money, we can still make money, etc. But I take this more like an investment, like
the time, the experience you're feeling, like what you're doing.
Yeah, because I grew up, I acquire some skills, and even if I say, I lose nothing, I don't want to say I lose my family, but you can have hard time, because my grandpa, for example, when I moved to North Carolina, he died and I was not here, and I feel guilty because I was like, okay, I'm not in the country, and so, and I was in a good environment with my other au pair friends. I did like kayak in a lake, and there is my uncle on WhatsApp who tell me, yeah, Ines, it's the last moment for your grandpa.
Wow,
so I was with my friends, in a kayak. She was behind me. I said, oh my gosh, okay. So I tried to say goodbye to my grandpa, but he didn't react stuff. But anyway, so after I prefer he lives now than he suffer. Even if I didn't say really goodbye, it's weird because for me, it's still here, So it's weird, but I don't. If I have to stay with my family because my grandparents are old, but I have to live my life too. So
yeah, and
so that's why. And sometimes I feel guilty, but in the same time, if I wait after, I will be maybe too old, and I have opportunity. In the US, you are in a country for opportunities. I am here for opportunities,
Yeah.
So
and I'm so encouraged, and I think that you also can be very encouraging to other people that might view this episode, and then the fact that you gained your independence through your own experiences, no matter what anyone told you, because it's just so scary. You had that experience of of nothing is impossible, but you were also you also viewed a lot of scary parts of what the US has.
Exactly.
In North Carolina, how much different was it for you?
From compared to LA?
LA, yes.
So first, prices. Even in a restaurant, I noticed, I was like, oh, it's cheap. I was like, oh, okay, I can buy.
I have money here.
Okay, I have money.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say it's cheap, but for example, real estate.
Yes.
So for example, 1 million here, it's a great house. It's not a castle, but it's a great house. In LA, it's like a tent. No, I'm kidding. It's not this, but it's like just a small, not a small house, but the size is different.
Yes.
So I think, for example, North Carolina, we are in Charlotte. It's a great city for young people who wants to start a life, or for families, because school are maybe, you have expensive school, but compared to LA, it's different. Mm-hmm. And Charlotte is the second city in finance after New York. A lot of companies come here, and a lot of people from California, from expensive city like New York, move to North Carolina because taxes, I think, are better, but also you have a lot of opportunity, and as you said, you can buy something for the same price, like 2 homes, for example,
Yeah,
so
no, with 1 million, you can. There's a $300,000 home. It might not be the greatest, but it's still a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and you could buy 2 of them.
Yeah, so I think it's more reasonable to live here, even if in LA. When you ask me, I just remember why I like Miami, because after we switched, etc. Yeah. So in LA, I didn't really like LA. Well, me, I live in Malibu. It's a nice area, but to live, there is nothing to do. The night, or when I hang out with my friends, I go to Santa Monica, for example.
Yes.
But it's not because LA, it's beautiful. Well, me, I love palm trees, so when I see palm trees, I'm like, oh wow, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's more about a feeling, like like a vibe, LA vibe, like opportunities also, because you have a lot of people who succeed, a lot of actors. Everyone is actor in LA. Everyone is realtor. Yeah, I'm an actor. Okay.
I'm a rapper.
I'm a rapper. Yeah, everyone. So for example, you can meet you can meet great people everywhere. But I mean, I don't want to say interesting people, because for me every person is interesting. Yeah. But more like people, for example, who succeed. People who have money. So if they have money, they do something. So for example, me, real estate was a great place just to see. I went sometimes open houses. I meet real estate people through open houses too sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you are like 15 million house on the beach, Malibu.
Wow.
Yeah,
so, and you start.
Never I would say this.
You start putting in your mind I can have this one day.
Exactly. I was like, okay, so I try to maybe have a different mindset. Even if when I was in France, I think I'm French. But I have the mindset sometimes of American people, like for business, etc. Yes. So why I like Miami, because well, the weather is wonderful. I'm just scared about hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because well, sunset is amazing, but it's safer, I think. Even if it's not safe, okay. But compare what I saw in LA, downtown LA, I went just 2 times in my life because I didn't want it to. I didn't want to be killed, you know, for example.
Yeah.
So Miami, when I came, police everywhere. Maybe I'm going in a touristic place, but it's cleaner, and
Yes.
people speak Spanish, a lot of French speakers, English. It's closer to Europe. Also, taxis, very good,
Yeah.
you know. And real estate is crazy. It's crazy. So if you are a real estate agent, well, it's expensive, but you can sell for more, and it's like kind of a paradise. So that's why.
Oh, on commissions whenever
Yeah,
you close
and
it.
that's why you told me what person recently I met.
Mm-hmm.
So me, I went to Miami. I gave my resume to a lot of companies,
Mm-hmm.
and I opened the door. I think it's a destiny. You know, I believe. You know, I
Oh,
make a lot of effort.
No, I like it. I like
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
like
me,
it.
I'm very. You know, I manifest, but also if you manifest, if you want to have something, you have to make actions. If you just pray, it's great, but you will have nothing. You have to make actions.
It's like praying that a ball like
It's
that
like
that
you
like that ball moves,
Yeah.
but you're not doing anything to push it.
Yeah. So me, I enter. You know, it's funny. It was the last day. So in my mind, I say I was with a friend. I say, okay, I have to get a job when I leave Miami. But you know, I say this just like this, and so it was a day we have to come back to Charlotte by plane, and after we rent bikes, and hopefully because if not, you know, Uber all the time it's very expensive. And I enter in the agency. There is a woman. She say I'm French. She speak French. She's French.
Uh-huh.
She is in the US since more than 20 years in Miami in real estate.
Okay.
And she's
Wow, okay.
Ines. You know what? I think it's a destiny because
She told you that too?
yeah. It's amazing. You know, she told me, you know, Ines, you're looking for a job. Me, I'm since a long time I'm looking for someone to help me because she has a lot of things to do, but I find nobody because I trust nobody. And after, so we spoke, etc., and I sent her my resume. I think she likes my profile because she told me, okay, Ines, how can I help you with paper, etc.
Wow.
And after, the easiest way to have an experience, because I want to learn real estate in the US, it's to do an internship. So we are in a process to do this, and I'm like, finally, you know.
Oh, that's how you're gonna be able to obtain your visa to.
So yes, so after my au pair year, I have to come back to France, change the paper, and I will have my real estate experience because me, I want to have an experience.
Yes.
And you know, I manifest all the time, and I can tell you a lot of things happen, but you manifest and something happen. So for example, I won in the first time when I was in Paris. I'm looking for internship, and I don't know why, but it was around Miami. I had some interview in Miami. It was Miami, and after every morning when I go to work in a real estate agency, when I was, you know, in parallel of my master, I listen music. It was California Dreaming. And after, wait. So after I was okay, so I found a family in California. I was like, California, you know, I manifest, I think about this, but it was like, okay, I want, but I didn't choose the family because of the location, you know, it was like this. And after, so before to know I am an au pair because I'm looking for a job, etc. So I found through some agencies one maybe job in Miami, and after I say, oh, maybe I go to Florida, etc. And my brother, for I don't remember if it was my birthday or Christmas, he bought me a book about Florida. And you know, after you know, I knew that I was an au pair in California.
Wow.
And now Florida. So you know, in my brain, it's like coincidence.
So Miami / Florida has been like an evolving and it's like it's coming back all the time.
And you know, and the craziest thing is the woman, when I enter in the agency, normally she was not here. She was late for a meeting, and me normally if I didn't ride a bike, I was not here. You see
it was just
crazy?
like
yeah, and me I'm like, my gosh, you are an angel who came from me. It's not possible. So I'm like, wow. So when you manifest, you do actions, and I don't want to say if you do actions like step by step, like the power of habits, could be another conversation.
Yes.
Because it's wonderful, and you have what you want.
Well, I mean, I think the habit of you just talking with someone in real estate, was it every week or every month, you said?
So I talk with people. I meet people. I make some action. I am in the move. I try sometimes. I'm like, oh no, I don't
because
know.
I like that you say, like, okay, like, you can dream, but a dream is not something you can touch. It's not. It's something you believe you want, but it's not something you're actually doing.
Yeah.
But you did have a set of habits of, like, okay, I'm gonna email this person because of this scenario. I want to learn this, and I want to ask her that, and your habits though, like, got you there.
Yeah. So I'm impressed by myself because I can be an au pair and just hang out with my friends, do nothing, etc. But me, I work consistently, even if it's just to meet new people. Just even if it's not real estate, I'm going, for example, in meetup group, etc. And hop, because sometimes I create event too. By the way, you had Jay, you interviewed him, I know.
Yeah.
And Matt, by the way, he tell you hello from him, so I meet people, and sometimes someone in real estate, so I met people everywhere. Yeah, it's actions, and so I contact them through Google when I research, for example, through people contact. Or through social media, Instagram. I didn't know that, but I did. I can talk to you about my mentor in real estate if you want just after. How I met her through also conference. For example, I went for my first conference in the US in real estate. So it cost me, I don't remember, like almost 500.
It was another business trip, right?
For me it was to go to New York, but for the business, it's to, and I was impressed because I understand everything about speakers, like successful realtors, they are like, I did it, so you can do it. It's me, I need motivation, and for me it was like push me more to, and I met, so I am in a networking event. I pay my place, I don't remember, more than 300. So I have to meet people. So me, I'm like, hello, my name is Ines. Nice to meet you. So sometimes, let's take a picture. And after, same, I met a woman, a lot of people, but a woman, for example, in Florida. She's a realtor. She does a lot of TikTok video, etc. So she loves France, etc.
But she's not French herself.
No. But she loves France. So now we are friends. And when I told her my case, I want to work, etc., she wanted to help me, but with visa it's complicated.
Yes.
So you met great people through event too every time. So me, I'm like, okay, opportunity. There is an event, even if I have to pay, I don't know, plus the ticket plans, the hotel, etc. It's a good opportunity, By the way, I met my mentor through an event. First, not through an event. So I was...
Was it that same event where you met the TikTok lady?
It was a real estate conference in New York.
Okay.
Gold Bar event, very nice event, by the way. But no, I was... So first, I was shy, scared, etc. But me, I am like, okay, who tries nothing, has nothing. So in I don't know how to say in English, but it's qui tente rien n'a rien in French. So I'm like, okay.
That's a saying in French?
Yeah, qui tente rien n'a rien. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so, I am on Instagram. So I'm pretty new in social media. Since 2021, I have Instagram. But,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very new. And so I follow real estate people, etc. And I saw a profile about a woman, like she had 1 million followers, and she's like first influencer in real estate in the world. And I was like, who is this? She's French? Okay. Me, because I wanted before to be an au pair to find an internship in the US, I was like, okay, she has a big network in real estate. I'm going to ask her something, but I was a little shy. It's just Instagram. I send a DM. Okay, she answered me
quickly.
Quickly, I don't remember, but it was maybe maximum 3-4 days. So it was pretty quick. But I don't remember. And so I told her my projects. She told me, yeah, you can contact some brokers. Me, I was like, what is a broker? Because I don't know. I was French, like, what is a broker? So after I said, okay, etc. And after, in one of her story, I saw real estate investment conference. And I was like, oh. And I don't know if you know Tony Parker. Basketball player. He's French, but now he's a businessman.
No,
Okay,
I'm
it's
not.
okay. And he was here, and I said, "Oh, wow!" But it
Like
was
Tony
nothing
Parker
like
was gonna be a speaker.
yeah, one of
Okay.
the speaker, and it was about real estate investment. And so when I saw this, it was the day of my birthday. So it was June 11th, and I was like, okay, there is an event. After I see the price, it was same. I don't remember 300 euros, for example. And my father told me, what do you want for your birthday? So, it was the day of my birthday during a weekend, Friday, or I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can spend time with my family. I can, stay with my friends. But I decided, no. If you can pay me this ticket, I will go by myself. I think it was one of the first time I'm going by myself in another, not country, but another, like, not in Paris, by myself. I take an hotel, so it was challenging for me.
Okay.
And so the woman, she gave me her personal number, and I met her through this event. And I don't know, but when we see each other, there is like a great connections because she saw my ambitious, my motivation, and after we talk a lot. I made one of the formation of her. Now I am like in a circle with like CEO in real estate in France, etc. So now we are like, if I have a question, I send her a question. So she's my mentor, and me, I say, you are my real estate mom. And I am like kind of her daughter, so it's so funny. And no, she's amazing. She motivates me. She used to live in New York. She knows real estate because she was in real estate. She created her own company. She knows a lot of people. Thanks to her, when I was in LA, I met one realtor, for example. So for me, it's I think it's great in life to have a mentor. Could be, for me, it's real estate, etc. Because it motivates you, and for me, it's like an inspiration,
Like you always go back to that motto.
And she believes in me. She told me one day, I remember, okay, because sometimes we laugh, we make stories together, etc. Even her community believed I was her daughter, I was like, no, we made a joke, It's funny. And one day she told to her community, if one day Ines it's not a big boss, I will quit my job or what, something like this, she told me.
That must have
I'm like,
inspired
okay, she
you.
really believe in me, and I believe in myself, but someone like her who believe in me, and she knows a lot of people in real estate. She's an inspiration for me. So now she's a friend, she's my real estate mom, she's my mentor, she's a lot of things. And so if I didn't send this message on Instagram, if I didn't went to this event in another different situations the day of my birthday, maybe I will just text her, but we will not meet in person. That's why it's important to meet people in person, because you can text them and you don't see really how the person is.
Yeah, and you don't really create a connection.
Yeah, and when you see, so directly it was like, okay, it's you.
And it's you.
Yeah, but it's funny, we talk like a lot, and yes, so you met some people sometimes in your life, and maybe your life can change. So sometimes I was like, okay, so I know there is a crisis in France, everywhere in the world, but in France, in real estate especially, we changed, politics in France was a little a mess, And she told me, Ines, yes, if you can stay maybe one more year as an au pair in the US would be great. And I was like, okay, because she knows people in the government in real estate too. So I'm like, okay, so I know what are you talking about. You are a great person to advise me, So I listened to her, but also I listened myself, because I was like, okay, I see how, even if in the US, my mother, she told me, yeah, you can come back to France, you can work in real estate, because you have health insurance here, it's not really, it's not, I mean, we have a lot of protection in France. For example, in the US, you have more opportunities. Okay, people, for example, you don't have to have a diploma like in France. It's like a key to have a job,
Okay, any type of job.
But you can be fired like this in the US. And in France, you have more laws who protect people, so it's more complicated,
To fire you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's different. So it's more risky to live in the US. But me, I say I'm young. I am in good health so far, thanks God. So I have nothing to lose except money. And my family, we can communicate. I can see them for vacations. They can come. By the way, come because nobody
Check
can.
it out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's for me. I think about my future because okay, you travel, etc. But I want to have. I don't want to say a big life because it's not really a world. But I know what I want. You know.
Yeah, and I think that you are not so lost because you know what you want. You know, a lot of people spend a lot of time being lost.
Yeah, because for example, you know, I know what I want to do since I am in middle school. A long time ago,
That's heavy.
And you know, I have friends who were like, I don't know what to do as a job. So you know, they study the law, for example, they don't know what to do. And me, I'm like, I know. And sometimes, you know, I'm like, I'm impatient to work in real estate because I'm waiting for, since I am in middle school, I want to work in real estate. And I'm like, okay, I have 24 years old, I want to work. So I'm like, okay, so same. But you know, even if I have a goal, for example, in life, it's not like this. It's like this, and the most important thing is the way you take to go to your goal, what you want to do. So it's very, very interesting because I'm learning. You know, for me, I'm young. I'm learning. So for example, if I do mistakes, I'm going to a country, so I develop some skills. I meet new people. Sometimes you know it's hard because English is not my first language.
Yes.
Sometimes I want to express something, but I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do. I don't know how to say. You know, it's not easy, but I love the challenge. I'm motivated. It's not a question just about motivation because you can be motivated, but you have to have discipline also. So that's why I create habits. I try. It's not easy, but after when it's an habit, like to do, I don't know, workout every day or whatever, after it's automatic, you know, you don't think about it. Like when you breathe, you don't think, if not you, if you don't breathe, you die. But
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean. So yeah.
And what is your motto and where did you get it from?
Yeah, so it's funny. Well, I have a lot of like slang or what, but it's like
you have a lot of quotes. I like
me,
it.
I'm very. It's no problem, only solutions.
Okay.
And the first one was, okay, Ines, I wanted to find an internship in real estate, okay? But my problem is my English, my money too. But there is a solution. Me, I'm like, okay, so I cannot do this. It's like when you say, yeah, I cannot buy this, I cannot take this vacation because of what? Because I don't have money? Okay, so you don't have to say, oh no, I cannot. No, how can I do? You know? So I'm like, okay, solutions. Au pair. Well, I love kids too, you know, so I'm like, okay, so it's a fun job and I can improve my English, discover the US, be in immersion with the culture. It's so great, you know. So I was like, yes, so this is my solution. And same, for example, even if, well, in my life, I don't like to have like a plan B because
Really?
Yeah, because I tell you why. Because
okay.
You have a plan A. For example, me work in real estate. For example, after, yes, I finish my au pair job.
That's
I want
plan
to
A.
work.
Okay.
Plan A. So real estate since the beginning. And if I have a plan B, like, oh, you know, for example, if my plan A is to stay in the US, well, I have to come back to my country, of course, but in the future, I mean, if I can work in the US, why not? You know? So I want to stay, I have to find another. Plan B, it's okay, I come back to France. It's okay, in France, I'm French. With my diploma, with my experience, I can find anything. Not anything, but it will be easy for me to find a job.
Yeah, because you've gained the experience.
Yeah, but me, I like the challenge. So I'm like, okay, no, it's too easy. And I'm like, okay, no, I want to find something in real estate in the US because I want to learn. So even if I'm not working forever in the US, temporary, I want to learn how real estate work in the US because this is my first motivation to come to the US.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about real estate, you know. So I'm thinking about my career all the time. So yeah, so my plan A, it's this. Because if I say, oh, you know, I have a plan B to do this in France, of course, it's like my safety, my security, you know, like, okay, so I have this. But if I think like this, I will be like, oh, okay, boy, it's okay, I can go back to France, it's okay. But me, I'm like, no, plan A, I have to do this. I want this, I do this. I have a plan B if, for example, something bad happen or what, I come back, you know? Come back. I don't want to say I don't know. But yeah, so I wanted to find something. and I find it.
Yeah, and you did through your persistence.
Yeah, and I did so much research. I even talked with lawyers and stuff, and but voila.
No, and I like the fact that you said or explained why you said no plan Bs, because the plan B would be like a safety net. If you fall from this,
because if not, I will not have maybe this motivation to do what I do. So I'm like, I have, and when I do something, for example, in Miami, I was I print my resume, I give my resume to some companies, and sometimes, because I didn't have any meeting, I'm going like this, Google, okay, map, real estate company, real estate, ta 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 ta. So I was like, okay, I just knock on a door, and sometimes, it's not like in France, you have a agency in the street. Sometimes you have to go in a big building. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes there is nobody. There is like appointment only, and me, I was like, okay, no, I'm not going. And I was with a friend and said, Ines, just we are here. I said, you're right.
Yeah.
So I say, every time when I have a bad thing and I'm scared, because it's okay to be scared, so I have some tip like this. I am like, for example, I'm thinking like, the worst who can happen, someone, the door is closed, someone up, Ines, don't enter, or just, the worst is just, no, you don't enter, but the best who can happen is someone say, hello, yes, I can take your resume, etc. And, so I just enter, and sometimes I open, I discuss with one I talk to one of the real estate developer, for example, and if I was scared, I stay like this, okay, no, I'm not going. So every time when you have a hard time or bad time, you have to remember why you do things and what is the worst of the worst who can happen. And sometimes you realize it's not really what it's. I'm not going to die. I hurt nobody, so
I think
okay.
The worst thing you can have is regret of not trying.
It's one of my, how do you say, worst fear. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, to have regret in my life. That's why, because it's horrible. You are like, oh, if I knew, la 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 la. Yeah, but no, just it's better to do something, and you are like, oh no, I did this thing, and it's a fail for me. Fail, oh, it's a bad word star. No, failure, it's a lesson. So you learn from your mistakes. It's okay to do mistakes. Well, if you can not do it, it's better. But you learn from this, and you grew up. So
yes.
me, I'm like, okay, so
No, and I've enjoyed listening to your journey, and I mean, I hope also that the people that listen to it grab some type of inspiration, that not just hold on to the dream, but have persistence.
Persistence is very important.
And don't have regrets. Try to minimize them at least, because like you said, it's scary, and you've had such a winding road
I'm not like this, but it's very interesting the way you take, because for example, if you want to create a company and you want to do this for money, you will maybe not succeed really, because you have this goal money. But if you create something and you have things happen, etc., it's more interesting, and you grow up, you learn, and you are passionate. You have to be passionate about what you do. Me, I have a passion about real estate. I want to learn. If I did this, I want to make money, real estate, okay, so I will not have this passion. I was like, oh la la. Me, every time when I do something, when I meet some people, I'm excited, I'm not like, oh, I have to do this. No, because I like.
Yeah, no, and I can see the emotion, and I can see that, like you said, it's your destiny, but because you found your destiny, you're searching for it.
Yes.
It's not your destiny met you. It's like you meet your destiny while you're walking through the path.
When people say you're lucky, but for me, the lucky, I don't know how to say luckiest, lucky, it's not random. It's just because you make action and you did something, me, I believe also in energy. I don't know. So me, for example, it's all about programmation in your brain. Me, I'm very positive. I see every time the positive, etc. And when you think about the positive, so you have an energy and you attract positive people. Or if you are, I don't want to say if you are a good person, because for me, everyone is good. It's just bad experience happen. You are like this, you are a criminal or whatever. Yeah. But for me, everyone is great, and it's just a perception. And so far in my life, I don't want to talk too much, but because maybe my energy, or I attract people because who you are, So yeah, I don't know.
No,
So
and absolutely, you've met great mentors, but because you are
because
like I'm a
exactly.
message this
Yeah, you know,
person.
it's just a message. So people who maybe watch this podcast, so just I don't want to say don't be afraid because it's normal to be afraid, but just the worst thing who can happen, the person no answer, or just the person say yeah I'm busy. Okay, the better thing the person answer you. So and something great like me can happen. So
No,
yeah,
and I hope you do find yourself back here with a job and
thank you.
just like you wish. And thank you again for sharing your story and
But thank
taking
you
the
for
time.
inviting me. It's my first podcast ever, and in English, it's very challenging
No,
for me.
you did excellent.
Oh, thank you so
At
much. I
first
appreciate
at
it.
first I think I had a hard time kind of like listening,
Yeah, I
but
know.
then I started like kind of like listening more
Yeah.
and more, and I was like, okay, like this is easy. This
Yeah.
became really fun.
Yeah.
And then you started telling me stories about like
Yeah.
your winding road because it's so crazy how you meet your destiny while walking. Because if you had just stayed back, you would have never met
Yeah.
this winding road, like this adventure that we
Yes,
call
it's an
life. Because
adventure.
I mean, and I like the fact that you're so young and you just take such an importance. Like your mindset is like this. It's not
Yeah.
like this. It's
Yeah.
like this is the narrow path that I'm
Even
gonna
if I'm
follow.
like this, I have. So it's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
No, and I really appreciate it. Anything you want to say before we cut off the episode?
Uh, to you or to
No,
other?
to whoever, or to a mentor, to someone that has made an impact.
First, thank you, my family, because my family is not here. They didn't visit me, so visit me, or I will visit you. But it's also they support me, etc. And also, thank you for my mentor and also my host family because I am an au pair. They support me and they believe in me, so I really appreciate this. And my mentor, of course, Julie Doirin. I'm going to mention her name.
Okay.
And also, I would like to be an inspiration for people. People who are shy, and people are like, oh no, I will never do this. No, I was very shy. Now I was introvert. I'm extrovert. It's okay to be shy. Just it's question. I don't want to say about confidence. For me, it's about confidence, and just make action and don't have regret. If you want to do something, just be around people, good people. For example, if you have you want to be someone like I don't know, a coach or something, or in real estate, just follow these people, try to contact them, go to events, and just do it.
Take the risk.
Fake it until you make it. I
Yeah,
love
no,
it.
and I like that you just were like take the risk and
yeah, you have to take the risk. You have to stay cautious, be careful. But if you don't take risk, your life will never change. So
I like it. I
yeah.
like it. Guys, and if you guys stayed this long, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And Ness, thank you again for coming on the podcast, and
You're
hope to
welcome.
have
You
you
can
soon.
follow my adventure if you want on Instagram.
Yeah, next time I'll hopefully we meet up again and you do have an
Of course.
internship.
You know what? Let's meet in 1 year when I will be in Miami. I come back, we do a podcast, and I will have a lot of things to tell you.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's plan on it. Thank you, Ines, and
Thank you so
guys,
much.
we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you.